Aloha guys, Scuba Chris here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to rejuvenate my ITX 3000. I got this reel way over a year ago. I can honestly tell you it's probably my hardest working 3000 spinner. I've gotten way over 100 hours on this damn thing. Never had to send it in for servicing because I service it myself about once every couple months. I make sure that everything's all oiled and greased, and it's just that time is starting to wear on it and it's showing. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do just to spruce it up a bit. So as you can see, it's not in bad condition considering the hours that have been put on it. The line has really faded out. I think this was 10-pound braid, and at so many hours in the sun, it's just kind of bleached out. Look at the handle. The handle, this is actually from my fingers gripping this, rubbing it, and look at, if you look at it closely, there's a difference in material thickness. It's thicker on the edges here because I've been holding it and using it so much that I'm just literally grinding it down. And there's, of course, you get your little nicks, which is normal for it. But in terms of servicing, I've been keeping up on all my gear. I make sure everything is just basically sprayed down, clean, greased. And that's just basic maintenance. During COVID times, even more so. So, I make sure I shoot that down, shoot this down here, just give some grease in there. I make sure I keep up on everything. So I just kind of use a little WD-40. I just spray it down, wipe it up, and once every great blue moon, which is 6 months, I open it up and actually really get into it. But this is just cosmetic stuff that I'm doing now, just to keep up on it. When you have gear that has been very good to you, you got to take very good care of your gear, right? This is just basic stuff. I mean, but when I get into it, I really clean it down. And the main thing is that the light greasing part. I always do that. And that's just part of basic maintenance. One of the great things I like about Okuma products, bale wires. See how thick it is? I still remember a long time ago, my father got mad at me when he took me up to Little Mac's across from Steelhead Park. We had I forgot which one it was. It was an old pen spinner sitting on top of the cooler. It's only like maybe a foot and a half, maybe a little over a foot and a half above the sand. I sat down in the cooler, the reel, which, back then was heavy, fell off, bounced off a rock. And because that, the bale was so wire thin, it bent that. And my grandfather got mad at me because it wasn't working well after that. And I kind of remember that. It was kind of like, oh boy, that bale wire was thin. So ever since then, it kind of stuck up here that got to get something with thicker bale wires. And that's one thing that Okuma has always had, thicker bale wires. I mean, you can literally drop this and bounce around. I like these thicker bale wires. So I make sure that I spray in the junctions here, over here. Make sure it's all loose. Now, I do have this rock arm that came with it. You can see it's all chewed up really bad from just so many hours of usage. Just imagine my skin going against it did that over about maybe a little over a year. It's amazing. That shows how much I use this. So I was thinking, you know what? Might be good to replace this. So I was kind of looking at my plug and play, but my Gomex's plug and play will not work because this is a hexagonal shape. And notice this, rounded. It's rounded in there, so it will not work. And as long as it keeps working, it's fine. But I wanted to get rid of all this white abrasion area. So what I did is I hit See over there, it looks normal. What I did is I just used a marker and I just colored it in. So if that looks good, that means the whole thing will look good. I know. I know. Cheap bugger, right? He says, I could just bought a new one, but this is just a touch-up. Look at that. You don't see those white areas anymore. It'll take months for me to continue rubbing it again to make more. But it's done. I mean, even when I was filling it in, you could feel the depression. I was really grinding into that material. So my little 3000 is just about there. Let's take care of this worn out 10-pound braid. So I'm looking at one of my two containers here for braid. This is the lighter braid I have. I only have the 10 here that might work, but I'm thinking about the 8. But kind of want to save that for a smaller reel, like a 2500 or a 2000 series. So I guess just go back to what I had before, which was a 10, but that's brand new 10. Okay, I just took out all this line. As you can see, the top part is weathered. The bottom part's still good as new. I did make a video and during COVID times a couple years ago where you could re-spool this back on by doing what I just did, by putting this on another spool, empty spool, and that way the top part would have been your backing, the first part here, and the bottom part here would have been the top. Now you can do that to save money, but I'm just gonna go ahead and re-spool new line on it. We'll be using this spooler by Sportsman Innovations, and thank you to Brandon Rogers for letting me use it. Look at that. Spool to within, just up to the edge of the spool, but I still gave it plenty of room. About maybe a little bit more of 1/16 of an inch. Perfect though. This is Eminent Braid, 10-pound by Soft Steel. This is what I like to use. So check this out. It's rejuvenated. It actually looks like straight out of the box, really straight out of the box. Look at that. Look at the handle, all nice and black again. The outside is just all immaculate. So what and you know, it's the line here, all brand new spanking line here. So what I do is I generally will play around with this, like spin it really fast for a couple minutes like this. And what that does is, because I did shoot a lot of lubricant in the joints, in the handle, and this helps to disperse a lot of that extra lubricant. Also, it's just playing with you real like a little boy again, you know. And I keep wiping off the excess because you don't want this on your hands when you're actually out there. You can see it's working because this was a clean napkin. Look at that. See all the grease and the yellow stains from the lubricant. This is the finished product. So what do you think? Compared to what it looked like when it first started, this looks pretty good, right? So this is just basic care and maintenance. When you have the time, you just got to do this once in a while with your gear. Thank you. Okay, so I rejuvenated my almost 1.5-year-old ITX 3000 to be fitted on my Guide Select Pro, probably one of the best steelhead rods in the world. The rod is rated for 8 to 17 pound test, 3/8 1 ounce. It is 9'9" medium strength.